Hi guys, welcome to DOdaily Thursday. Your questions answered. It's Des here. Hope you're having a great day. Just want to start today really by saying been really positive recently. Really on top form and feeling things. And to be honest, in the last 24 hours, I've really not felt that great. And what I'm trying to be here is honest and relatable. So whilst it's great being on top form, sometimes it's a little bit difficult, coming on and being honest. But I was just thinking whilst I was waiting to start, it's much easier now to do this when when there is things going on, when there is sort of things to talk about without even thinking about. So I've actually done no preparation. I've got a few questions to go up, which I like to do on a Thursday, of course, but being honest and relatable is really important. So just letting sort of my feelings known sort of here and there. And of course, I've been mentioning when I'm positive, letting my feelings known when I'm not feeling so much so. I think it's just as important just to help people understand that we all kind of go through it a little bit, particularly at this sort of uncertain and uneasy time. Whilst I'm okay and aware of what was happening, I think I let a bit of negativity rub off on me yesterday, and I keep saying it's important to surround yourself with positivity and do things. Sorry, I've just had a full packet of refreshers, probably not the best preparation. Yeah, sweets is probably not a good thing before a YouTube video, but anyway, yeah, it's important to sort of let that positivity rub off on you. And whilst I've been a little bit fed up today, particularly last night, sort of didn't sleep very well. I had a bad dream as it was. That really threw me. Dreamt of a bad time. So it just made me realise again, and the reason I wanted to mention it made me realise how quickly these things can change and how we have to really sort of make a big effort to stay on top of the situation. So I think that's really important, isn't it? Just to keep doing the things. I've got a few questions today that I'll come to shortly, but people have asked around what we can do and when it's best to do this. And I think they're really good questions to go at, just to sort of give people an idea that it's not always one size fits all. It's whatever works for you a lot of the time. Whilst I can answer and give my advice and give tips on these things, it's really important just to do what works for you. I've tried to do that today. I've thrown myself back into work. I've been organising events and such things. And again, I'm feeling a bit better already. One thing it did do for me yesterday, and despite the fact I said I was going out for exercise, I didn't exercise yesterday, which made me feel even worse this morning. So, of course, a big part of DOdaily is to get people getting active and understanding the importance, and it really is. I felt so bad today for not doing that. I've not done any at the moment today, but I am going to go out after the video and at least walk. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then, of course, I've got Wake Up to Walk and Attack the Day tomorrow. So really looking forward to getting that activity in and just remembering why I keep trying to pass this message on is important to me as well. As much as it's important to you guys, I need to sort of keep my focus and keep looking forward. Anyway, moving on to the questions. The first one's from Kay. Kay asked if I've got any ideas on things we can do to look after yourself during the current situation if you're actually unable to exercise. And I think this is really important because a lot of people through time or work or looking after kids, they don't get the opportunity. So I'm quite lucky. I can tie in a few jobs like doing DOdaily with walking and exercising and put them all together. But some people are pressed for time. And I think it's important just to, whilst I keep encouraging you to try and find that time, I know it's not always possible. So to be honest, there is things you can do. Personally, I've spoke about little targets and doing little things in my personal life. A lot of planning and planning to do different activities. I mentioned it from day one on DOdaily about listening to podcasts, listening to certain music radio shows, at the weekend in particular, when there is a little bit more time. Of course, we can't go out there and exercise 24/7. Some of us are not machines. But things like that are great for filling time, particularly if you're not feeling fantastic, or you're feeling like you need a change. You're feeling like you need some sort of positivity. The dance music in particular is a big one for me. Or the sort of dancing about, messing about, being silly. About the house is really important, and it really sort of picks me up. But of course, I've mentioned as well the targets in terms of I'm trying not to drink alcohol at the moment. I think it's 31 days today, so that's a whole full month, a whole 31-day month. So that's a big chunk of it. It's really keeping me focused, looking at things. And I know sometimes, as much as I like socialising and I like having a drink with friends, particularly around some of my hobbies, after a racing event or after a football match, I know sometimes it doesn't help with anxiety and things like that. So, for example, the way I'm feeling today and the way I was feeling last night, it might not have been the best idea to have a drink, but I might have wanted a drink to kind of feel like I'm distressing the situation. But not having it is a lot better. It's another day. I've got a little tally thing going on where I'm taking the days off, and every time I sort of do that, it makes me feel that little bit better and a little bit more positive. So really enjoying that challenge. But I've mentioned a lot as well, podcast. I think Ben asked previously in the past, and I was a bit non-committal on which ones I listen to. There's some great podcasts out there at the moment. If you do anything, listen to one by Fern Cotton when she interviews Ricky Gervais. Absolutely brilliant. And I know Ricky Gervais is a bit of a Marmite character, but what he says in this episode explains a lot. Like I said, that's called Happy Place. Listen to a couple of others in that series as well, which are absolutely brilliant. So I highly recommend that. I listen to a guy, a coach guy in America called Rob Dial, who's good as well. So there's two to sort of look out for in terms of podcast. Like I say, the music. And just getting something that creates routine, whether it's, I don't know, I'm trying to think of what other people might do, but whether it's painting or sewing or anything, just that free time, different TV shows. We've started looking at box sets at certain times when we've completely finished for the day, and just starting to wind down. So those kind of things help sort of pass the time and stop you thinking about what's going on out there. So I think it's really important to use them, as well as I will always sort of push exercise and activity. But if you really haven't got the time, or you really want to mix it up a bit, there's a couple of ideas to go at. Nothing I've not mentioned before, just reinforcing the message that there's plenty to do out there, and there's plenty of people prepared to sort of put themselves out, doing different things. What I'm doing through DOdaily, what other people might be doing through their channels. I know there's people who work with the guys at Get Out, Get Active Nottingham, and the Stay Safe, Stay Active campaign. There's lots of people doing different kind of video output and things you can watch to keep you busy and keep you active. So check that out on their Facebook page. It's always a good thing. See lots of DOdaily stuff up there as well. So it's worth a look. The next question's from Inda, sort of following on a little bit from some of the things he asked last week. He was asking, in terms of activity, what's the best time of the day to get out? What I will say to that, the best time of the day to get out is whenever suits you. And, personally, I love to get up and go out in the morning. The reality, it don't really work all the time. If I knew I could get up at 6 a.m. every day, get out for a run, 5-10K, be back for 7:30, and have my breakfast before the day, I would snap your hand off. But the reality is you've got to make that happen. And I'm trying with the Friday thing. I really, really enjoy my Fridays and getting out early. And that's one of the things I really look forward to. But I have to accept sometimes through time and through sort of tiredness, I'm a bit more of an afternoon runner. So because that's when I can fit it in, that's when it works for me. So it's important just to sort of understand what works for you, and don't make it a chore, make it enjoyable. And that's why I kind of work off the afternoons. Whilst I'd love to go in the morning, it'll be so much of an effort to get up in the morning, and I can go out and take my time. Whilst sometimes I want to not take my time because I love running and things like that, I know I've got time to sort of take in terms of thinking about where I'm going, what I'm doing, not rushing back too much. And it's just about fitting it in nicely like that. So in terms of the benefits, I'm not sure there's a most ideal time. There's things you can do, get up and go early in the morning. There's theories out there that it works slightly better for weight loss than if you don't eat breakfast. Say you was doing a 5K, but you wouldn't go and do a long endurance run on no breakfast and things like that. So it's like I say, I think the short answer to that is basically whatever works for you, whatever makes it more enjoyable. Sometimes these things can be a bit of a labour of love, I guess. We try and force them in. We create ourselves challenges, or say we're going to do things and then wonder how we're going to do it all. So it's just about getting it set in. This is why I put activity on through the week, the Wednesday workout and the Tuesday challenge, and encourage people to exercise at the weekend. It's just about planning these things in. DOdaily even, it's at the same time every day if you watch it on time. Of course, you can watch it when you want, but it's at the same time. It's just to be able to plan it in when you might be sat down after a long day at work, or a run, or you might normally be watching the news, which tends to get us all down at the moment. It's just an alternative. Nobody's making anybody do anything here. It's just an option for people to look in and take a bit from. So that's what I'd say on that one. And I don't know who sent this question, to be honest. I actually got one through email. Of course, you can email me questions at des@dorunning.org.uk, but the person didn't put a name on the end of it. And basically, they said they'd been watching me talk about walking, for a while now, and more, obviously, with the chat with Mark Crossler the other day and the extended interview on Sunday. With Mark, and why he thinks walking's brilliant. I've been focusing on that a little bit this week, I guess, and of course tomorrow I'll be up again. And this person said to me, "What's a good distance to start?" Well, again, I don't want to keep sitting on the fence for this, but whatever works for you. If whatever you're comfortable with, if you're not very active and you're thinking about getting into activity, just add it into your routine, rather than get the bus to work if you don't work very far, walk to work, or just go for a walk around the block, or if you normally get in the car and go to the shop, just try walking to the shop and just gradually sort of build it from there. There's great ways of recording it and measuring how far you've done, and whilst spoke last week about not getting obsessed about times and how long things have taken, it is a great way to sort of monitor progress. So to be honest, starting out, we all walk every day, it's part of what we do, of course, if we're capable and able to do that. But there's ways of being active, whatever activity, whether it's walking, running, or sort of activities for those that are less active or even more active. There's always ways to extend yourself and push on. And it's just about finding out what you can do, And as things progress, you can try and build up to activity that gets the heart rate going, makes you sweat a little bit. It doesn't have to be really intensive stuff. But as long as we sort of getting a bit of sort of build up a fitness and a sort of, we might get short breath to start with, we might get tired, but that's not a bad thing. Some people get scared by that. That's one of the things I notice with people taking up activity. The first time they're out of breath, the first time their muscles ache, they get really stressed out. And I can understand that. We're not used to pain, and we don't know what impact it's going to have on our body, but it's all part of the process. The first time I went running, I probably didn't move for a week, and that's the truth. That's the reality. it felt like everything was injured and hurting. But if you're inactive, as I was at that point, it's a particularly hard step to take and understand. So just be, what I'm trying to get to, I guess, is just be fully aware that everybody experiences the same thing starting out. It's never easy. I talk about running every day and how much it's never easy. You never feel like you've cracked it. Whatever you do, you want to do that little bit more. You want to push on that little bit more. And it's just about doing these routines. I go to work every day and I see a lady walking. She obviously was a little bit overweight, and I don't know this person. I just see her from the car, and I've been watching her now for the last 2 or 3 months, and it's just amazing watching that person sort of change and develop. Now she's marching along from where, to start with, she was just like sort of trundling along, and now she's marching along. She's got back up, her shoulders up. She's looking a lot better, a lot trimmer and a lot more sort of on it, I guess. So it's just, like I say, it's important just to sort of realise your limitations, particularly to start with, and then just build up gradually from there. Of course, I'll be talking more about walking in the morning. I'll be back for, I mentioned it already, but I'll be back for Attack the Day. I thought there were some good questions there, just little bits to go at again. Didn't have to do too much research, and I did that on purpose because I wanted to sort of give my opinions. People was asking for my opinions there, and that's what DOdaily is about. It's just little bits of information, about how you can get active, how you can create routines, try and stay positive, particularly whilst everything's going on out there. Like I say, whilst I'm feeling better now, and DOdaily always does that for me, it always brings me around, and I'll be feeling even better in the morning. My sort of feelings sort of yesterday and today was just almost like a perfect reminder of what the things I need to do to maintain what I'm doing. And that's the important thing, isn't it? Just to know, sort of be aware of your own sort of mental health. Whilst nobody's preaching here, nobody's going to tell you to do anything and make you do anything. Anything we sort of advise and suggest is absolutely no obligation. What we are is regular, whether it's the videos at the certain times, like I mentioned, or the activities we do week on week. We've had another great week of that. People really sort of enjoying what we do. And I did a post earlier on Facebook and said we'll be doing exactly the same next week and the week after that. What we do, we've been really good at it in terms of putting out this optional activity, but it's really encouraging people to take part. So please keep doing that, guys. Please keep watching. Of course, keep posting your questions. Really, really enjoyed that. Oh, so just before I go, I mentioned it last week about the Olympic event and what I would do. A couple of people responded, not as many as I'd hoped, but just a bit of fun. Kay said she'd love to do the heptathlon. I think she's inspired by Jessica Ennis there. She said she'd like to try all the events and have a go at a little bit of everything. Dawn wanted to do the long jump because she used to do that in her house at school. So she'd like to give that a go again. And Ben said he'd like to do the 1,500 metres because his idol was Steve Cram. I'm sure a lot of people of Ben's age were. Sorry about that, Ben. I'm sure Steve Cram was for a lot of people of Ben's age, sorry. And that gives a little bit of way about that. So thanks for those guys. Just a little bit of quirkiness to add in on Thursday. Like I say, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you watch tomorrow. Of course, you can share and like and subscribe. Got 50 subscribers now. It's not many, but it's a start. So when you start these things out, you never know what's going to happen. But I'm really, really enjoy doing it. I'm really looking forward to getting out somewhere different tomorrow. Looks like the sun's coming back out, finally. It was promised at the start of the week, but now it looks like it's finally cracked it, and we're supposed to be in for a nice few days. So I'll see you in the morning. Looking forward to the weekend. Just doing it.